Okay, so, as you know, this drive is bad. That's the internal drive. And I have as you can see, I have a replacement right here. It is a Western Digital 500 gigabyte. You can see me in the reflection of the Mylar plastic. 500 gigabytes, $77, but I mean, this was all I had. Didn't want to get a Seagate because those I don't trust at all. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to disassemble it. Well, actually, first, before I do that, I'm going to download the drivers for this particular system. And I'm going to put them on a USB drive. And I'm going to install the operating system and all the stuff that I need. I don't have a 64-bit version of Windows. That doesn't matter because this isn't running a 64-bit version anyways. Take a look here. It's a 32-bit OS. So instead of going and getting a 64-bit version, I'm just going to stick with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download the drivers. And do it in Internet Explorer, but because that'll make my life easy. And we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm moving all of the files that I downloaded onto here. The little drive there. Onto a USB flash drive, and I will use that to rebuild the machine after I replace the drive and install the operating system. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, because I mean, when I tried installing Windows 7 on this T61, all the drivers except for a select few were found automatically. So I will have to see how long it takes. It's going to take forever to move everything over, but here's something thinking. I can hear it doing something. It sounds like it's singing to itself. Anyway. So after that's done, we can shut it down and get this party started. Alright. So, we are now loading Windows. It will take forever to start, but that's not a problem. So that should be done, hopefully, within the next hour or so. Ah yes, fall. The time when the leaves on the trees change color, and guess what? They fall all over your goddamn yard. This one is the most important out of all of them. I think, personally anyways. Go on. Alright, so what I have just done is I have started, I'm creating a system image right now. So that way, if something happens, or... yes, if something happens, I can back up from... restore my system back the way it was. Hopefully I can create a system restore disk. See if any of these work. These are DVD, R plus R drive disks. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't work. They should work. But we'll see. Right now I actually have the Ultra Bay hard drive carrier in there. Because I was transferring files from it. I'm going to leave the hard drive in there. Just so I can take a look at what's actually on it. But right now, I have Firefox installed and basically no updates. And most of my files on it. So when I'm done with the system image, which should take... I mean, it's a 58 gigabyte image. So it should take up most of my space on this drive. Yes, I would like to do that. Oh, that's right, I don't have a disk. Anyway, close. I'll create a system image in a second. After I'm done installing the software that I need to install. So, what we'll do first is we will do the Windows update. Come on. I don't have all day. So you know what, I don't even need to re-download the executable because it's on the file already. In here. Okay. That would mean that the program has started. Okay. It's about 8 o'clock right now, so it's been a while since I started install. I mean, obviously there's a bad drive here, but this is the new one. About 4 hours of power on time. So, Windows Update doesn't work now. Alright, okay. Oh, God. I know I need to restart. Shut up. Out. Disappear. Installing my antivirus right now. Preparing installation. Oh, this is gonna take a while, isn't it? Those gigantic boxes are really going to be annoying. Okay, really? You stupid camera? I just plugged you in. You little bastard. Anyway, we'll accept the license agreement. We'll just say, you know what? We'll do a custom installation because I don't want it installing all this extra crap. Out. Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. That's fine. That's great. And now it's installing stuff. Configuration next. Medium. That's the way I have it all the time. Unusual runtime compression. Look for that. We'll look for that. We will look for jokes. Games will be fine. I don't care about that. Application. Or that, you know what, forget that. Normal start. We'll just say normal start because I've always done that. Performing a quick scan, finish. It's probably gonna bitch and it wants me to reinstall. Or, sorry, not reinstall, reboot. And it didn't, which is always wonderful. And oh yes, somebody asked me if they should upgrade to iOS 6, and I'm like, really? People actually care about iOS 6? iOS 6, especially the new Maps app, has been the butt of every joke on the internet that I have seen over the last little while that isn't Gangnam Style, however you say that, or Justin Bieber throwing up on stage, or anything like that. If it's not one of those two, it's about this new Maps app. So I'm thinking, really? People actually care about iOS 6? Personally, I wouldn't upgrade because I haven't even upgraded to iOS 5 yet. And, really, I'm in no rush. I just can't seem to find my iPod at the moment. Seems that all this stuff is always, disappearing, pulling disappearing acts on me. Speaking of pulling a disappearing act, my software all seems to have disappeared. You can see that it's quite empty up there. That's because I was actually doing a rebuild of the T61P. Again. Yes, again. I was going to make a video of it and I didn't. Because I got caught up with this. Yes. So, configuration wizard. That should be done. We can hit end and both of those should close. Just like that. And it's complaining about installing updates. Oh, shut up. I thought I had that closed for a reason. Oh my god, updates failed. Oh well, we'll reset anyways. So let's go ahead and reboot. And we will see what happens. Normally this really wouldn't be something that I would do, but I find this to be totally hilarious. Bing Desktop delivers the beauty of the Bing homepage to your Windows desktop each day. Plus, get easy access to the Bing search box right from your desktop. Turn your searching into doing with Bing. What? People use Bing? Oh my god, that's like a foreign concept. I'm gonna hide that because I don't use it, so. And we will check the rest of these. So we will install. How about that? Yes, of course I accept the terms. That's just so funny. The beauty of the Bing beauty of the Bing homepage. What? There's something beautiful about Bing? Really? I didn't know that. So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning now. My lens cap has decided to get stuck down again, or stuck up a little bit up again. But now I'm getting ready to do the final parts of my build, and that would include installing Sony Vegas, and installing Office. This is the Vegas CD and disk bunch. I will deal with that. I'm going to install Office, and then I'm going to install that. So first we have to remove this because we need a CD-ROM drive to do this. Does anybody else remember the Windows 95 startup sound? Alright, and what we are doing now is installing Office 2003. Yes, I want to run setup. That's why I clicked on it. And I wanted to open up the executable in the first place. Bring on the new files. And of course, the installer does not seem to work correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this manually. It says copy to ci387rhd.msi. Okay. Paste rhd.msi. And we'll see what happens. It basically just sits there and does absolutely nothing. The file's there, but you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to completely ignore it. Alright, so we are ready. I have to get my license key ready, which is inside the booklet, which you see right here. I'm not going to give my license key away to you guys. I mean, come on, that's just stupid. Does not appear to be auto-run. So, well, maybe it is auto-run. We will run setup.exe. Yes, of course I want to run setup.exe. Install. We'll follow all of the steps. Might take a while, but we'll follow all of the steps. And now it's copying the files over. And I found it quite neat that they actually packaged it with some nice 3D glasses. I thought that was really, really cool. So if I ever want to make 3D videos, I can use those. And it will be all nice and fine and dandy. Just got done with a major project. Actually, the T61P system. I just had to rebuild it again. Took about 5 months, and the hard drive failed. Stupid Seagate hard drives, I hate them. We'll take the program and we'll pin it to my taskbar, which is where it should be. Which is where I want it to be. Pin that to my taskbar. Put that in over with my audio. And open it. Excuse me. Next, we will enter in our serial number, which you cannot see. Alright, stupid camera. Register online. Register with my name. And more private info that you cannot see. We will uncheck I would like to receive news, and we will check I acknowledge that I have read and agree to the terms. So, there we go. Hopefully this works, because if it doesn't, I will be absolutely pissed. Requesting a cookie, so it must have validated. Oh, you absolute asshole. let's see. Let's just wait for this to happen. I'll hit pause because it's not going to be fun. Oh wow, you know what? Look at that. It just took one retry. Stupid software. Do not show that on startup. Sony Net Notify. Probably something about the update, which I won't worry about right now. Open the Action Center. We will take a look at Windows Backup and see if messages about that are on. We will set up Windows Backup, and that's the last thing that I really think I need to do. And what we are doing now is installing the Service Pack, the most important part of any OS build. And once that's done, we're going to have a whole bunch of other updates, but this is like the main one, the one that I want to get done first. And that's the last update I have to do in this set. Should ask me to restart in a second. There's only one service pack, so makes my life easy. This is Windows 7, obviously. Alright, so we are now ready to reboot. So now the last thing to do here is to change my theme and my sound pack back to the way that I want it. Excuse me. It was this one that I liked. Can't remember exactly which of the sound themes it was that I wanted. I want a different one though. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. It's not quite that one. That one's cool. Nope, it's not that one. That's the one that I had before. I can't find it, so we'll just use this one. My user account control, I wanted to change to the shutdown sound, or the log off sound. And that is exactly how I like it. And all this work needed to be done, all because one company, a major computer company, didn't bother to check the smart data on a hard drive. Ya bozos! Alright, so as you can notice, I am actually re-editing this video right now. This particular one, I think, was posted. In fact, I could tell you exactly when it was posted. You can see all my copyright violations here. Most of them are for using that Benny Hill theme song video. That Benny Hill theme song in the intro. But anyway, where is it? It's this one. October 11th of 2012. So it's been around for a while. But as you can see, whoops, the audio has been muted. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and I had to re-edit it anyway. Because that just will not do to have an audio or a video with its audio muted where most of what you can see is being talked through. And I decided to throw a little bit on the end and talk about the upgrade that I had given it. Well, basically talk about the hard drive that was in there and where it is right now. And also offer up my opinions about certain hard drives and other various things. So first of all, the 500 gigabyte drive that used to be in here is obviously no longer in here. In fact, if I go over here, we should be able to, if I've got enough cord on me, I do. This is the drive. This is a 500 gigabyte WD5000 BPVT. with, I think it's got over 10,000 hours on it. I used to use it as my file storage drive, but I recently replaced it with a 750 gigabyte Caviar Black, and you've, well, already seen that. So this thing is just mainly kicking around as a spare. You can see 01 May of 2012, and it would focus, which it does. Now this thing actually focuses a lot faster than my JVC camera. I'm not using it because the original part of this video was shot in standard definition anyway, because it was with the Samsung camera, as you can probably tell. So I'd like to keep things consistent. I'm not going to upscale anything to HD, and I'm not going to downscale anything to standard def. If I have a camera right here that I can use in standard definition. Oh yeah, that's right. Steady shot doesn't work in 16:9 mode. Or at least not in full 16:9 mode, which is what this is in right now. You know what? I should probably also address this, but a lot of people have asked me why the colors on this camera seem weird. And I don't think they're that weird, but I'll show you why. I have an infrared filter on here, at least that's what I think this is. Yeah, UV V37 filter. Filters out, well, it's an ultraviolet light filter, so, well, there you go. It's not infrared, but it's ultraviolet. So we'll just take that off. I won't put it back on for now. But I'm going to talk about this particular machine now and what its current state is in terms of the hard drive. I won't talk about any of the other upgrades that I've done to it. In fact, I might as well. So this thing is now basically my second computer. Of course, I now have the T410. So it's got the single hard drive, like it should have, because it works. And I have just a normal DVD-RW in there. The keyboard is from a T500. It's a replacement. My original keyboard broke. It's not working properly. And the display has been replaced with a bigger one, actually from a T4. Actually, it's from a T61P. The display panels themselves are interchangeable, but the actual bezels and the interconnecting, like the LVDS cable, is not. So, in order to replace the display on one of these, you have to take these beauty plugs out. As you can see, I mangled that one, and I actually lost the one that's up there. But no worries, I can get replacements. No problem. Of course, the camera won't focus. Come on. Anyway, it doesn't frickin' matter. So this has now got a 1920 by 1200 display in it. It's running Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit, unlike the professional 32 that it was running in the first part of this video. So let's go and just take a look at the system properties here. You can see 4 gigabytes of memory with 3.9 gigs usable. Still the same processor, still the same basically everything else. I have to change that work group because it's not on my work group. But anyway, so there you have that. I mainly just use it as a portable computer now. And so there is that. And of course, now it's time for me to offer up my obnoxious opinions, because I know how much you all love those. I have been using WD drives for the better part of the last 4 years. In fact, I think it has been almost exclusively Toshiba or Western Digital, with one notable exception over the last 4 years. The only exception is this Seagate right there. That's because that was the only drive that they had that would offer the right amount of performance, and it was cheap. So you can't argue with that. Prior to that, I was buying mostly Seagates, but I've had horrible luck with them in the past, which is why I shy away from them now. Some people swear by them, and that's okay. But a lot of people are coming around and telling me that Western Digital is crap, and that Seagate's the way to go. Well, I beg to differ, because, in fact, in my honest opinion, it's the other way around. The one thing I do like about Seagates, though, is the fact that they're very, very honest with their smart data. In fact, you can actually see it changing as the drive is being accessed and it's doing stuff. Western Digital's, I've never had any issues with them, but from what I can hear, from what I've heard,
They start having problems long before Smart actually even tells the user that there's remotely any kind of a problem, which is in and of itself a problem. Seagates are one of the more honest manufacturers when it comes down to that. But what I don't like about Seagates is something that I'm about to show you. As you can see, or as you will be able to see in a second when I open it up, is that we have a grand total of 8 hard drives installed in the system. In fact, I think there should be 9. No, there's only 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So only 8 drives. Okay. You have 8 drives here. One of which is a Hitachi. 3 of which are, actually I think 4 of which are Western Digitals. 2 of which are Toshibas, and 1 of which is the aforementioned Seagate, which is in that enclosure. Let's bring up Crystal Disk Info, which is my smart monitoring program. In fact, you can actually see it right here. So, then I'll bring this up. C drive is the Hitachi. It's about 40 degrees, which is okay for a system drive, especially considering the system drive on this particular machine is right beside the cooling fan. The E drive is the 750 gigabyte file drive at about 35 degrees. The F drive, when it loads, is my 2 terabyte Toshiba external drive at about 33 degrees, but that's because it's been spun down. This is my 500 gigabyte, my brand new 500 gigabyte WD My Passport drive, running about 36 degrees. This drive, I believe, is the 100 gig, or 1000 gigabyte, I guess. It's the 1 terabyte Toshiba. At least it should be. I'm trying to get a grip on this camera. It's not very easy, because my hands are small, and this camera is huge by comparison. No, it's not. That is the... Wow, really? That should be the iDrive. But anyway, no, it shouldn't. That's the 500 gigabyte WD that's actually in the Nexstar case back here, the smaller one. 35 degrees. This is the 1 terabyte Toshiba drive, 36 degrees. 40 degrees on this My Passport blue drive, 320 gig. The Seagate is at 45 degrees, 44 degrees, which is a full 4 degrees hotter than every other drive here, and it's not being used. So, as you can probably tell, Seagates run hot, which is a little bit of a problem, because the platters are not immune to expansion and contraction. What happens is as the drive warms up or cools down, the platters expand and contract, which changes the position of the sectors, like the cylinders, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure it's the cylinders. Changes the position of the cylinders, so even though it's a voice coil drive, unlike the old stepper motor drives, which used to not work unless they were low-level formatted at the proper temperature, they will still work because they're voice coils. They're infinitely positionable. But the problem is that the drive has to work more in order to position that head, which wears out the actuation mechanism a lot faster, and resulting from that increased having to move the heads around also produces more heat, which creates a positive coefficient void, a positive loop, or negative loop, I guess is what you could say, because it's not really a good thing, and causes all kinds of problems. So there's the problem. The other problem is simply that of reputation. When I was first really getting into computer repair, that was around the time of the Seagate 7200.11s with the SD15 firmware. And those of you who have been in the business for a while probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Those drives were the most dreadfully unreliable things in recent times. There have been worse drives. The WD-93044 comes to mind here. The IBM DeskStar 75GXP comes to mind here. There are a couple of drives that are worse than those 7200.11s. But those 7200.11s are still pretty damn bad. And I cannot tell you how many of those drives that I have replaced over the years, along with 7200.9s, 7200.10s, and even some 7200.12s that I have replaced simply because they don't last very long. A year at best. In fact, all of my Seagate drives have been replaced at least once under warranty. At least the ones that I've still got. And I've had countless drives. I think I've had at least 10 or 11 Seagates of my own fail. So I'm glad that this one right here seems to be working just fine. No problems. That being said, I still don't trust it. I'm going to keep my data backed up pretty regularly. In fact, I have that one going about every week, in fact, as opposed to every month like my other drives. But anyway. So, on to Western Digital, which seems to be of the opinion that many people don't like WD. Mainly because of the smartware program that comes on all of their My Passport drives, or at least their older ones. I don't know if smartware is still a thing or not, but it's definitely on that blue drive. Some people say they're unreliable. I have had no Western Digital drives fail with one exception. So I guess I shouldn't say I had none of them fail. I had one that died that I actually bought. It was a WD Elements 500 gigabyte drive. And it had already been replaced under warranty once. So that was, well, basically the end of that. But anyway. So there we have that. That's why I trust WD more than Seagate. If you like Seagate drives and you think they perform better than WD's, go ahead. I'm not going to skew your opinion one way or another. But for you to come around here and tell me that my opinion of WD versus Seagate is wrong, then, well, there you go. You're obviously not worth having around here because, well, my opinion is not wrong. It's not necessarily correct, because if it was correct it would be a fact, but still. I guess I haven't even really talked about what drive is in this system. It is a 320 gigabyte Seagate, factory repaired, and in fact it is my 423AS, which is my 7200. Are you kidding me? Go away. 7200 RPM drive, which is not very encouraging considering this machine doesn't run very fast. So maybe this drive is getting ready to pack up. I do need to get a new hard drive for the Acer up there, so I might just buy a drive for this T500 and be done with it. Buy a small drive, or heck, I might even buy a small drive for the Acer up there and not even bother with this. The drive still works, so there's not that much of a big deal. I'm not in that much of a rush. So I think that is actually pretty much it. I've talked about this machine enough, about 14 extra minutes of your time. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then.